A monster is coming. The state of Florida today bracing for impact.
Hurricane Ian on track to become a monster storm.
Setting sights on the Florida coast now.
What started this morning as a maybe has now become a likely. Southwest Florida is going to feel this storm, Hurricane Ian, in a big way.
This storm is headed right to us.
I would say that the gravity of the storm shifted Sunday night and into Monday as it came across the Cuban islands and wobbled. My chief of staff and I were in the building Sunday night, probably till 5:30, 6 o'clock. We had just finished a conversation with the Emergency Operations Center and specifically county management. It was after that meeting later on in the evening when I saw the weather reports. I called our embedded staff at the Emergency Operations Center, and they were able to confirm as the hurricane updates came in that there had been a shift in path and we needed to really focus on additional preparations. Beginning on Monday morning, we met as an emergency operation team. We were back on the phones with county government, and we made the determination that Tuesday was not going to be an operational day.
When we left here that Monday, all of us just thought, we'll see you Thursday or Friday. You know, it's just maybe a day off. We'll have a wind day and then come back. And so it was quite different, quite different.
I want to say actually it was very early in the morning, it was about 4 a.m. I got the phone call that we were going to be a shelter. We started rocking and rolling. We came to the school, set up, and started accepting people.
We were telling them, like, welcome to the Ravy Potterworth Resort, and they got armbanded, and we told them that our pool was closed and our golf course was closed at the time. So prior to the hurricane, this was my office. This is now my office and my bedroom.
The massive storm is already a Category 4 and is set to make landfall on Florida's west coast very soon. Storm surge could reach up to 18 feet.
Hurricane Ian made landfall, tied as the 5th most powerful storm ever to hit the United States.
During the storm, it started the water rising. People were scared. They didn't know what to do.
You're hearing, seeing, experiencing the storm along with everybody else. What are some of the things that are going through your head?
I think the same thing that went through everybody's head. Are we going to be okay? What sort of danger are we in? Did we do all the right things to be prepared for a storm of this magnitude to come ashore? Would our roof, would our walls, would our windows, does all that hold up? Everybody in Southwest Florida had that common experience. I don't know, I've been through a lot of hurricanes before. Lived in the state for more than 30 years before I came back to Southwest Florida. This storm just didn't seem to go away. I don't know how many people have ever been inside the EOC, but there's a very large set of monitors that make up a big screen. Across those screens were the first images that I have ever seen regarding what had transpired, and the first image I saw was the causeway to Sanibel. And if that much damage had been done to that structure, what happened to the Fort Myers beaches, the Pine Islands, the Sanibels, what happened to our other schools, and really wanted to try to get access as quickly as possible to see what was going on. We have a great partner in this community in a lot of different ways, and that's Sheriff Marcino. I caught him at the Emergency Operations Center and said, I have a favor to ask. I need to get airborne to see my schools. And his response was, that's not a favor, that's something you need and we will make it happen. Within very short order, myself, the Lieutenant Governor, and the Commissioner of Education were on board a helicopter. We took a significant tour of the community by air, examining school building by school building, including our barrier islands. This storm impacted just about every single building west of I-75. The most heavily damaged buildings, clearly Sanibel, Hector Caffaretta, Fort Myers Beach, Lexington, Diplomat Middle, lost a roof. That was school related, but what I saw was a community that had been devastated. Part of what I'm feeling and thinking is we've got a lot of work to do. Another piece of the puzzle is how do we get it done? Another piece of the puzzle is the emotional upheaval of have we lost lives? Have we lost students? Have we lost faculty?
All of a sudden, we just started receiving helicopters. They were pulling people off the island. Some of the people had nothing, literally not even shoes. I mean, it literally looked like they were on a shipwreck. You know, people came in muddy. People came in with cuts, with bruises, hits to the head. You know, this was a life-changing event for our community.
We are challenged with current circumstances, but we remain resilient. Homes and businesses have been destroyed, lives have been lost, but I know our community will rise from this historic event. Many want to know when schools will reopen. At this time, we just don't know.
I am fourth generation this town, fifth generation Florida. So my people have been down here since the turn of the century, and we have stayed through everything. We have done hurricanes. We figured we knew how this worked, and I learned we don't. My house is located off the McGregor Corridor, very close to my school, Fort Myers High School, and we are a block away from the river. We say bye to our neighbors and thank you so much, and we walk into our house for the first time, and there's a watermark already, and we realize it's about 1.5 to 2 feet, depending upon where in the house.
That is the Caloosahatchee River in my pool. Came in my house.
It's like, what are we gonna do? Clearly this is gonna be a mold issue. I know that that's the next step. They're gonna need to come in and rip the walls out. I have my father, who's in his 80s, and I have my husband, and I have our 2 little girls, and they are at that point 6 and 1.5. And we also have our geriatric dog, Harper. So we start going, so where do we stay? Where are we gonna go? And that just begins, there's nothing at that point. Everything has been taken by the people who knew how bad this was, who did believe how bad it was gonna be, and came in with all of the people who were gonna need to be here. And they are the ones that are taking up all the rentals at this point. So we just didn't know what we were going to do. And I got on Facebook and kind of threw my frustrations out there. It's like, this is where we are, also trying to keep family updated. If anybody knows of anything, it would be appreciated.
I remember seeing that post and knowing that she had small kids, and knowing, you know, if I ever found myself in a situation like this, what would I do? I reached out to Virginia's mom, said, I have a 31-foot camper. It sleeps 10. It'll be a roof over their head. If this is something that might be of interest to them, just let me know.
And so I call him and he goes, absolutely. I've done this before, back in, I think it was Charlie that, you know, he had loaned it out before, and he brought it.
Thanks to awesome Ashley Lamar.
He warns me, he's like, this is a hunting trailer. It's not super awesome, and you know, it's not brand new. It's seen some things, I think, because of the description. And I didn't care. I'm like, does it have air conditioning? Florida girl, I'm like, does it have air conditioning? Does it have running water? Yes. Okay. He brings it in, and he says, you can keep this for as long as you need. We moved in October, and we were able to finally move out of it in June.
That's a long time to go camping.
It meant everything. It meant our survival. It meant my girls having a semi-normal existence.
I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to help someone in need, because we've all been in situations where we've needed someone.
I will never be able to repay him for this, ever.
"72 hours after the storm, it became very, very clear to me that the community was coming back. In order for the community to come fully back, the schools had to come back. And that meant a cabinet meeting here where we discussed, we have to do this. If we're waiting for somebody else to come in and do this work on our behalf, that's not coming. We have to mobilize, we have to decide what we can do, we have to do the work." You know, there's a whole, as we talk about recovery and reopening, there was a whole nother level of what I often refer to as the human element. That grace and compassion that I spoke about so often. We were reaching out to our families to make sure that as we were ready to open, were they ready to come back? And do the same way with our staff. We wanted to make sure staff was in a position where they could come back, because not just about getting a building ready, you have to have people. In a people organization like a school system, you have to have people ready to come back. We weren't ready. We still didn't have street lights. Not all our schools had power. There was still debris in the way.
I couldn't get out. My street was covered with trees. When I heard that there was no bridge, I thought, oh my God, what are we gonna do? You know, not all of us live on the island. I thought, how are we gonna get back and forth?
We were taking calls to show people, tell them where they could get food and water and where they could actually get some of the resources that were out there, and even taking search and rescue calls from family members who couldn't get in touch with their loved ones. And then the United Way School Resource Center, which is in partnership with the school district, we've seen a tremendous amount of need through that program. We're supplying shoes, clothing, school supplies. Right after the storm, it was surreal because students were requesting everything. It was like it was the first week of school again, because these families lost everything. So they needed all the folders, the pencils, the crayons, the backpacks.
I'm just so proud of how that organization responded in feeding, clothing, helping our students, helping the greater community. We were very heavily reliant upon other school districts that came, that helped with food, water, supplies. I think the whole 67 district map should just have one big check mark on it that says everyone helped. Sometimes it was just phone calls and offers of support. In other cases, it was very specific maintenance teams that came to help do the immediate work, including debris removal.
We've come down from our Hillsborough County schools to help assist to get things back up in order.
We had an amazing former athlete from North Fort Myers High School who plays for the Miami Dolphins. He came, he arranged with his fellow teammates for much of the same necessary materials to be brought here.
It was amazing to see the capacity for caring that everyone showed and how they were helping each other out.
We know it's been a challenging time for all of us. We are in this with you, and we are here for you. Our teams have been working day and night with a focus on getting our schools ready to reopen and taking care of this community. We were ground zero for Ian. We were and still are significantly impacted. However, this is not going to stop us from opening our schools as soon as we can. We still have at least 8 schools without power. Some schools, most schools, do not have suitable drinking water. We have to reopen in a way that is safe for our students and staff and sensitive to their needs, while being effective enough to provide the teaching and learning that we expect. Our goal is to return to an educational environment on Monday, October 17th. We have identified 9 criteria that every school must meet in order to reopen. We needed potable water, we needed power, we needed an intercom system and a telephone system that functioned. We needed a workable kitchen, we needed indoor air quality tests. One at a time, schools started to meet those criteria. We did what you would do at like a NASA launch of a rocket. we went go, no go.
I just feel very blessed and fortunate that we are here today and that we could come back and that we could be together and talk about what happened. And it just made me feel relieved too for each and every student that walked in. Oh, they're here, they're okay.
I love school. This is my favorite thing about all the days.
Our students are precious and we love them so much. And so to see that they're back and they're safe, it just fills my heart with joy.
Right, this was a demonstration table, and it had gas and water and sinks. The back table, you can see the line where the countertop was, just below the map. And then this was the large demonstration unit for the science teacher. So the science teacher would have been able to do experiments here and then release the students. All this casework had to be removed. So this is another aspect of when you think about financial recovery, this is another area we have to look at.
It is quite disturbing, but there's hope there. The walls are being cut, and it looks like we're getting back to normal.
It was great to see all the kids back, and they all wanted to be back.
Oh, I missed you.
We did some unique things to get schools reopened, i.e. we took Sanibel and Fort Myers Beach and we placed them into a school building where we had additional space, and 3 schools went to school in one location.
Just like when company comes to your house, you kind of all squish in and make room, and we did the same exact thing.
It's a good school, big. I have everything I need, all school supplies. My teachers are still here, my friends are still here, everything.
Hector Caffaretta needed a temporary campus built as quickly as possible.
While their school is out of commission, Caffaretta students are sharing space at 2 other schools. Half are at Hancock Creek Elementary, the other half at Pelican Elementary.
Oh, gosh.
Wish I can say something, but I don't even know what.
This is the first time you've seen it?
Oh, yeah.
What are you saying? It's having trouble finding the words. What are you thinking right now?
It's a disaster. It's really hard to see it. It's really right to focus and really find what you need. It's hard for me. It's hard for the kids. It's hard for everybody. Really difficult. Oh my God.
I think the one thing that Hurricane Ian taught us was that no one organization, no one person could help our community by themselves. It was going to take all of us together. Our community has come a long way, but I think we really know that there's still a long way to go.
There's still some permanent repairs that need to occur. There's still some purchasing of replacement kitchens that were completely destroyed in one of our culinary programs. There are still roofs that are underway. The storm certainly has had an impact on how we build new buildings. There are new hurricane requirements. We are building all of our school buildings to a shelter standard as we build new ones. The 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Ian, it really does bring into context the amount of damage this storm did, not just to the school system, but to our community. The silver lining is it also demonstrates how strong this community is and how strong Southwest Florida is, because we continue to just persevere and know that we're going to get all the way back. At the end of a crisis, you're going to be known as one of two types of organization: one that took care of people or one that didn't. And I'm really, really proud that this organization decided to take care of the people who work for us, the students who go to school, their families, and even pitched into the greater community.